right, welcome everybody to our on-farm risk management and technology workshop series. We're happy you could join us, and we've got some great speakers today, so hopefully you enjoy what you hear today. I've got a few slides about New Entry Sustainable Farming Project, and then I'll hand it off to our speakers. But my name is Ben Zoba. I'm the beginning farmer educator here at New Entry Sustainable Farming Project. I'm filling in for Jennifer Hashley, our director, who normally hosts these, but is getting some much deserved time off. And if people would like to put in the chats your name, where your farm is, where you're located, your pronouns, if you're comfortable with that, feel free. Then speakers can kind of monitor the chat to see who's here and where people are coming from. And we all kind of know the Zoom protocols by now, but if you want to just make sure you're on mute, unless you're speaking, that'll be helpful. I'll be monitoring the chat if you have questions, and we do have a time at the end for like a Q&A. So we'll try to make sure all of your questions get answered. You probably heard the voice say that this is being recorded. I'll be posting this onto our YouTube channel for folks to check out at their leisure. So just a brief intro to New Entry Sustainable Farming Project. Our mission is to improve our local and regional food system by training the next generation of farmers. And we have a few different program areas that I'll just touch on. But we're located in Beverly, Massachusetts, just a little bit north of Boston. And we have 3 program areas: farmer training, our food hub, and our national work through the field network. And in our farmer training program, we offer courses, workshops, and we also have an incubator farm program where folks can lease a 1/4 acre of land their first year and go up to a 1/2 acre their second and a whole acre their third year. Some of our courses include our crop production course, which will be starting in May. It's a hands-on, kind of track how the growing season goes and learn what needs to be done during that time. And it's got hands-on elements with some online components as well. Love to see some of you all in that class. If you're interested, feel free to send me an email. And then we also teach a farm business planning course in the off season. So our next one will be in October, because we're just wrapping up this year's winter course. The one prerequisite to join our incubator farm is to have taken this class and come up with, create a business plan. This course is kind of walks folks through the process of writing a farm business plan. I mentioned that this will be on our YouTube channel, but you can find other things there, including a virtual tour of the facilities here and a little intro to our incubator program on our YouTube channel. And our food hub is a aggregated CSA, and we also do some food access work with hunger relief organizations and councils on aging. And then we also use it as a market training tool for both our on-site farmers and farmers within our network, alumni and otherwise, who sell to the food hub. Lastly, our field network is a professional development network that we've established to help various incubator programs and apprenticeship learning programs throughout the country to network with each other and learn best practices and improve our programs. So today's workshop is one within a series, and they're all related to risk management and technology related there too. It started in November with us focusing on legal risk. And then in December, January, we shifted our focus to financial risk and different tools that can help manage financial risk. Then we went on to production risk, and now we're in the portion related to marketing risk and technologies that can be helpful for that. All of those workshops were recorded and some notes made about points highlighted and links included within them. And those can all be found on our website. At some point, I might just put this in the chat so it's easier for you to link to it. But if you go to nesfp.org and click on the resource tab on the right over here, and under the resource library, you'll see the Ag Technology Platform. And all of the previous workshops will be there. I do want to thank our funder, the USDA's Northeast Extension Risk Management Education, or NERMI. It's a part of the National Institute of Food and Agriculture. And yeah, they have made it possible for us to offer these workshops to farmers for free. So we're grateful for that. They do like us to track information, trying to kind of see what the impact is. So I will be administering like 2-question polls during the workshop. And then right at the end, I'm going to share a link to like a 10-question evaluation that will probably take about 5 minutes. So if you would make the time to take that, it would certainly help us out and help our funders kind of see what impact our tax dollars are making, I guess. So speaking of which, I will initiate this poll. Amy, is that showing up for you? Okay, great, thanks. And while you take that, I'm just going to introduce the fine speakers we have here with us tonight. So we've got Amy McCann, who co-founded Local Food Marketplace in 2009 to help level the playing field for local sustainable food. As CEO, Amy focuses on bringing business best practices and innovative solutions to local food, including introducing the first and only white label mobile app for food hubs. Hope you get to hear about that. And then Andre Cantelmo is going to also speak about his experience with Local Food Marketplace. Andre's been farming in New Hampshire since 1996. He started Heron Pond Farm in 98, which is a 60-acre mixed veg farm, 4 seasons, and it's got a year-round CSA. He also co-founded the Three Rivers Farmers Alliance in 2014, and he'll talk about how he uses Local Food Marketplace for that alliance. And we'll hear from his experience. Then we've got Lauren Currie, who's the sales manager at Barn2Door, the all-in-one solution designed to help farmers grow and manage their direct sales. Lauren spent the last 3 years working with farmers in the Northeast to help them grow their businesses, develop their brands, and strengthen relationships with their customers. And also joining to talk about Barn2Door is Brianne Casadei, or Farmer Brie. So she'll tell us some of her experience from Terra Firma Farm. Thanks for taking that poll. Appreciate your feedback. Oh, and I am going to stop sharing my screen and just hand it over to Amy McCann.
Thank you so much, Ben, and thanks also to Andre for joining here as well. I'm excited to share this virtual stage with you, Andre. It's been a long road that we've been on together, so it's pretty exciting. I don't know if we've done a presentation together after this last 8 to 10 years, but this is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. It's going to take just a moment, I believe, to get to the right spot. Okay, everybody see my screen okay? All right, I'm going to assume yes, unless Ben, you ping me and tell me otherwise, because
That's great.
when you're screen sharing, as you know, you can't actually see comments and chat and all that. So great. Yes, thanks so much for having us here. Really appreciate the opportunity to tell you all a little bit more about our platform and about, and also for you to learn more about Three River and Heron Pond Farm. My name is Amy McCann. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Local Food Marketplace. My contact info here is here, as well as Andre's, if anyone has any questions about the system or just about local food in general. I love talking about those kinds of things. So please reach out directly and would love to chat. I'm going to probably talk for about 10 minutes and then turn it over to Andre. I'm going to give you all, since there's probably some folks here that don't know us, we're going to do a quick intro. I'm planning on doing a real brief look at the platform, although I think Andre may also do a little bit of that. And then I'll turn it over to Andre to talk to you all about Three River and Heron Pond Farm and how they utilize the platform. My understanding is that we'll probably do most questions at the very end. But feel free to put questions in chat and I'll kind of look at those as Andre is chatting and try to answer them the best I can. So we've been around since 2009, and which both feels like a long time, but also not that long. It's been a really exciting and dynamic time to be in local food. And we started the company to focus on relocalizing our food system and specifically enabling small farms to be profitable through technology. And we're super proud and excited of the work we've done with Three River. I mean, they very much encompass the kind of thing that we set out to do. When we started the company, it was very much our vision to make farms, their lives easier and help them be farmers more of the time and less admin tasks and things like that. So fast forward to today, and widely considered the leading platform for local food sales. We support hubs like Three River, farms like Heron Pond, and various markets, including farmers markets and other online markets across the US and Canada. There are about 350 hubs and markets on the platform right now, and over 12,000 farms and producers as of a couple of months ago. So it's a well-adopted platform. We actually have two different products. We have sort of our flagship product, which is what most people have heard about or are familiar with, and what our company is named after, which is our marketplace product. And that's a full end-to-end online sales platform for hubs, farmers, and online markets. And that's been around since 2009. Earlier this year, we rolled out a new product called Connect. And it's been in our long-term plans for a long time, but COVID certainly moved it up as we saw farms like Heron Pond and other farms that they work with and other farms all around the US start having to engage in lots of different online sales platforms and or online sales stores to make their sales. And so what Connect is designed to do is to enable farms to log into one place to manage their sales across these different online storefronts. So really to kind of get farms back to only needing to know one system, make it super farm friendly, but yet enable them to sell into either their own online store, but also other online stores that maybe they don't manage directly, such as a hub or a farmer's market, et cetera. So visually what that kind of looks like in terms of how Connect operates is that a farm can log in and in one place project their availability to their store, maybe the food hub like Three Rivers store that they sell to, and maybe a farmer's market that does some online sales as well. So it really kind of keeps the farm team on one system, and it's a fully back-end system itself. So The folks that use our platform are hubs, food hubs and cooperatives like Three River, lots of farmers markets and online markets, and of course farms and producers as well. And they use it to do all their sales. And we really bake into the system. And I think that's where sort of the risk management aspect comes in that being flexible, as we all learned with COVID, and being able to make very quick adjustments to business practices and sales channels that we operate in, and having a platform that enables you to do that is really important, and it has the depth of functionality in all these areas. So our customers sell wholesale through the platform, retail, CSA, and they also do in-person sales at farmers markets and farm stands. So covering all those bases. So in addition to integrating all these sales channels, both online, in person, and those indirect sales that you might make on a hub or a farmer's market or another online market site, it's really creates a customized experience for all of those different types of customers. So every type, whether it's a restaurant customer, they're not going to have the same experience. They have different order minimums, payment options, maybe payment terms, different pricing, different products. They can all have different items that they purchase and different options for how they can get your items. And all that gets mapped into the platform. All of these different things create a really scalable product. So you can be sure that even if right now maybe you only have 1 or 2 sales channels, as your business grows and as new opportunities come about, you've got a product that can adapt to those new things that might come about for you and for you to take advantage of. Folks that use our platform, the things they say about why they choose us, the first thing they usually say is our team, and in the kind of customer service that they get and extreme responsiveness, and also how well they understand the industry. And that's by design, because we hire folks that have run farms, have run farmers markets, and have run food hubs before. So that enables them to be really effective at helping our customers leverage the platform and maximize their use. We also hear that it's a very proven, comprehensive platform. This just gives all, the security that you've got a system that's been around for a while, that it's been proven to be used in all sorts of different scenarios, and unlikely that you'll run across a new scenario that you will have that the system hasn't handled before. The platform is also white label, and you'll notice that the system is designed to match your branding. In a lot of cases, you'd have to search pretty hard to find our name on our customer-facing platform. And that's by design. And it's really a part of our core values, is that our customers that are using the platform, it's about them and their use of the system, and that their brand needs to kind of shine through. Kind of along those same lines is owning your own data and your web presence. And this has become a bigger and bigger thing for folks in our industry the last couple of years. As things shift and change, one of the key assets of your farm or of your business is the data, right alongside the equipment and the farmland and all of that. The data, including your customer data, all of the sales you've made, and all of that information needs to be portable, so that you're able to make adjustments and change and carry that data with you no matter what you do. So we feel really strongly about that, and that's a part of our core values. And as well as, we do not charge a percentage of sales or transaction fees, neither tacked on to sales you've made or deducted from sales that you are making. So those sales are yours. All of our pricing for our platform is very strictly just flat pricing for the package that you need. So that's just a little bit about us. And I'm just going to do a quick time check here. I was going to do a quick demo of the storefront, but I have a feeling that Andre might cover some of that. So what I'm going to do is Andre, if it's okay, I'm going to hand it over to you. And if there's any piece that you need me to cover, I'm happy to do that. But I'd love to hear. I know lots of folks come here mostly to hear from folks like Andre and not hear from me. You can book time with us at any time to hear stuff that we have to say, but Andre's a lot harder to get in touch with. I'm sure he's very busy. So Andre, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. And I'm happy to click through, Andre, or I can give you control.
You can click through. I, at some point, definitely will want to just share my screen to show the two backends, because I'm running local food marketplace, and I am starting to experiment with Connects. I'm very excited about Connects because Heron Pond Farm is my baby. I started it with my partner, Greg, and we've been farming for years. And we are looking for, options to be able to sell our produce. And now that we use local food marketplace for our CSA and we have an online store, we can post our product there and have it seamlessly be posted to Three River. The good news for from the producer side is that it controls inventory. We're even thinking of switching our point of sale systems because there is an integration to be able to use Square and local food marketplace, and that would automatically deduct out of our inventory right through our farm sales too. So the other thing that Amy did not stress that maybe people should know a little bit about is that this is like an inventory control module as well. And it's like a powerful tool in inventory control across your sales platform. So you do not oversell, and you make sure that you know how much you have something of left and maybe where you need to push sales. But quickly about Three River Farmers Alliance, we started in 2014. That's 4 people. Greg and I are in the middle. These are the folks that started it. That's Kate from Stout Oak Farm and Josh from Meadows Mirth Farm. And we were just following each other around different cities on the seacoast of New Hampshire. And you could literally pull behind each other's vehicles to drop food off at some restaurant or school or institution. And we were like, this is ridiculous. Let's not drive 3 trucks through town. Basically, we got a huge response really from our customers. We're psyched to have one bill, one truck, and one place to order all their food at once from multiple farms and have it on a consolidated invoice, which is pretty sweet. We started Veggie Go Home delivery when in February or early March of 2020, we were told that all of our farmers markets were closed. All of our winter markets were closed, and a bunch of our restaurants that we sold to were closed, and that we were going to have to find a new way to get rid of all the food that we had produced. So we started Veggie Go Home delivery system, and who knew it? It was very popular. We have 8,000 clients as of the last count. We have peaked at about 900 orders or so. Amy probably knows exactly how many orders we peaked at a week, but it was like about 900 orders or so is the high in 2020. And we normally on a week, like, from week to week, it's between, sometimes we get these weird blips there up to 600 again, but I would say right around 450 a week is like, and having those, different groups of people who order around the seacoast is great. We include multiple producers now. We started out in the walk-in cooler at Heron Pond Farm with one refrigerated truck and a walk-in cooler, and local food marketplaces, our sales platform. We didn't even have a website. So actually, Amy was kind enough to have one of our developers like stick up a little website for Three River until we actually got around to actually having our own website, which was nice. And but now we had to move. We have over 60 producers. They include everything from fishermen to farms that have grain, meat. We have local producers of pierogies and other prepared foods that are using local ingredients, jams and jellies. The bakery has been incredibly popular, and yeah, just like a ton of other stuff. The contactless delivery is they go through the Three River Farmers Alliance website and quickly, seamlessly are put into an LFM storefront. You kind of don't know when you cross over that way. We have found that we didn't know it, but like these CSA subscription boxes became incredibly popular through this platform. And it also enables us for people to edit their subscription box. And they can also, what we find is what people tend to do once they have a subscription box is they tend to add to it, which is awesome for Three River. If you have a subscription person, they can they can really add to it. Heron Pond Farm has a 750 member CSA. That's quite a bit of folks to manage, and we only manage 400 of them on the site of Heron Pond Farm. The rest are managed off-site at pickup locations, and they all want it for years to be able to get all the goodies that were available at the Heron Pond Farm store. So now they have a virtual store, and they put in their orders, and all of our CSA leaders, we have a leadership team of CSA people. When they are going to their pickup site, the software prints them out a master list of everything that they need, and they just grab everything that they need and sort it out when they get to the site, because the pick lists are sorted by site. And so then once they get there, they can match it. We have a build your own CSA box. So the customers have an infinite number of choices, and they can do whatever they want. The platform, in this slide, the most important thing for me is the consolidation of the inventory as the person who's running the farm. There's nothing. Sometimes it hurts when you don't sell inventory. You're really upset about it, and you're like, oh, I got to do something to sell my inventory. But until you get involved in this business, you don't realize that there's no greater problem than overselling. Like if you're oversold, you're really screwed. You've angered a customer, and it's really hard to make it right. But our overselling is virtually non-existent, and particularly this year as we integrate the connectivity, between the farms platform and other platforms is like the farms inventory doesn't go anywhere, and that really helps us also rely on our producers to make sure that they have the inventory, because each producer is responsible for posting their own inventory. I think that might be a good spot for me. Is there any way I can share my screen?
Yeah.
Do I still have some time, Benjamin? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if this is like pertinent to anybody. Let me see where I am. Is this where I am? I think this is the screen I want. Okay, so this is the Three River dashboard of what we do, and if we go here, you can see all the producers that are producing at Three River Farmers Alliance. And so as not to show you the back end of somebody I don't know, I'll go into Heron Pond Farm stuff. And we're between periods. This is the load period. You like Wednesday is the day that the period is like, Thursday is the day that the period is in. The new period hasn't begun until tomorrow morning at 8. So you see that I have no orders and no revenue. But if you just, we want to just pop back, I pop back 2 periods, but you see that I'll have my units all listed as to what I had and how many I've sold, those counts, and then the customers that which they all went to. And Heron Pond Farm will pack all this up and bring it to one aggregation site. And then the aggregation site sorts it into the delivery routes, which is pretty sweet. And then on the Heron Pond Farm side, what I really want to show you that's been great for us is, you know, I was running local food marketplace, and I was running Small Farm Central member assembler before they dissolved it. And member assembler was like my speed because it was super stripped down into nothing. It was like, you know, you couldn't do much with it, and that frustrated my staff sometimes, but it was also incredibly simple to run. But we're running a pretty big CSA, and the hard part is the bookkeeping. And the bookkeeping in LFM is awesome because you can see here, this is like my CSA payments are coming in right now. And so you see here, like these are my CSA payments coming in. And then it could use some of the unused credits, and then unapplied payment things are really important to me because that's people loading up their accounts, and I want to keep track of the things they're doing. And when I go into site setup, and this is a edit module, the subscription module, and this is about the way that we do our CSA, and it makes it super easy for us because we can have the day it opens and the day it closes, and our storefront subscription on just in one of the places. And although these subscriptions are listed as separate, because they're all under one share, they'll just be different sizes in the share when it appears on the storefront, which is very nice for us. The accounting has been great for us too, because I know that this is the stuff that would have bored me before, but this is the most important parts of the platform to me now. And that is, if I go into my scheduling of payments thing, I can just pick one of my shares, one of my share styles, and then I can see, I can just select the unpaid, and like if I want to like look, by order. I have some people that do by order because I have a special arrangement with them, but I can see, you know, who has outstanding balances and who I need to apply credits to, and then who, and you can do it in batches if you want, all at once. And I like it that at first it was hard to set up for me, like to be my own merchant service account, but the rates are so much cheaper than using Square or any other medium because you're processing your own payments. So we have our own online payment system set up, linked with this account, and Three River does the same thing with that. I know that like these are not the sexy parts that people like to talk about very much, but I have to say that like even if I go back here to my thing and I go to my products and I just pick something, and if I pick something like this, you can go down and all the different sales avenues that I have are listed, and I can decide in this particular product, because I want more dollars for it and I don't think I can get enough out of wholesale, I've removed the wholesale periods and I'm only selling it to the home deliveries, because in the wintertime it's hard to produce these things, and I can recheck them for wholesale when I'm growing them in the field in the summer, and I'm getting better money, and then they can go back and I don't have to redo a whole profile page or do anything with it. But those are the I mean, there's a million different ways to set up a product, but that was just, you know, one of the little things in the back end that has seriously helped us out. And then the other thing is When you list your availability, you can watch the count go down, and it's linked to my email. And if I sell out of something, it will alert me, hey, you sold out of something. I can call my field manager and be like, hey, we sold out of carrots. Do you have more carrots? And they're like, yes, we have 100 more units of carrots. I can right from my phone post 100 more units of carrots. And I didn't lose those sales opportunities. So if somebody wants me to mouse around more there, I'm more than happy to do it. A lot of times when I do these talks, I go on and on about the organization of how we built, such a large distribution network. But I think it's more important to understand the flexibilities of what we've gained by using the technology now and how the technology can seamlessly thing. I think that the pricing is great. Three River uses LFM could be we call it an aircraft carrier. And when we first got it, we needed a dinghy and we didn't need an aircraft carrier. But at this point, Three River is using a good portion of that aircraft carrier. And Heron Pond Farm only uses a little tiny portion. And, our bills are proportionately different. I use a very small thing with one add-on module for Heron Pond Farm. Three River has an inventory module, a routing module. I mean, I don't even know what modules we don't have from LFM in Three River at this point to be able to keep that organization together. But the amazing thing is that they're running a $3 million organization, and I have one administrator that runs our back end. I have two billers, but I mean, to make sure we get our money, but we have one person, essentially one person runs that, runs the organizational side of the platform, the orders, the integration between the producers and the customers, that thing. I have an operations manager that has to take care of fleet, employment, health insurance, stuff like that. But that was something that I didn't even know I was getting into a business. But as far as administrating the distribution of the aggregation and distribution of food, it's amazing that you can do it with such a small staff. You can do it, really on the cheap. When we started Three River, the same person did that job, drove the truck, and did sales calls. So we had one person that ran the entire company and took the truck for service and everything. They were just basically, so we were a one person show for that time. I do see two chats. Are those questions? Do each of the farms log in and manage their own inventory from week to week? Yes. And that is awesome because you don't have to do that if you're running the distribution center. It's also awesome if you're the farm because you have control of your own inventory and the way that your product is presented to the public. So the unit is yours too. And also all that data of your sales history is all kept as a producer in Three Rivers. So you can go back and map it and you can see it as a graph. You can see it as broken down from CSA, we have so many divisions. So we like to look at it how many were CSA sales, how many were VeggieGo sales, how many were these wholesale sales. And under wholesale, we have that subdivided into restaurant, institution, and other farm stands. And you can actually, in the back end of ours, I maybe could have showed you this, is we've actually have different margins for those people. So then as a producer, you can put in one price, but then as it goes to those different, and you can make each unit available to different kinds of customers, you could do that. And then the software will automatically apply the correct margin to that customer type, which is pretty cool. The other thing that it does is I deliver to multiple distributors is this other question. And it gives me a list of exactly where each distributor, what is the aggregation from each distributor? Well, one of the distributors is me, so I don't have to go anywhere because it's, but that's one of the things we do. I think I answered the other one. Is it affordable for new small artisan cheese producer? My wife is a artisan cheese producer, so yes, I had to make it affordable for the artisan cheese producer. But I would even say like, yeah, I mean, if you were using it for your own shop and you only needed the one thing, then like, actually, I don't even think, yeah, I think it's incredibly affordable just for the online store part, if that's the only thing that you're looking for. But yeah, it doesn't, I don't charge my wife much for the use of my platform. That's it. Are you allowed to apply discounts to certain customers? And can you process SNAP? I'll let Amy answer the processing SNAP. I will say that it does allow you for processing of the eligibility. If you are, the hardest part about SNAP is becoming eligible to do it too. But then also, yes, the answer is yes, you can apply discounts to certain customers as well. But Amy, you want to handle the SNAP question?
Yeah, Hunt, thanks for that question. It's funny, that question often comes up these days. So, so right now, no, you can't process SNAP online, but that will be available through our platform later this year. We're actually in the process of getting that approved through FNS right now. So book time with me though, and there's a lot more to tell you about that.
Yeah,
As you
SNAP
can
is not
imagine,
a-
you're dealing with FNS. So it's a lot more complicated than you'll be able to process online SNAP in a couple months. So I'm happy to share though, the whole kit and caboodle. We are deep in it right now though. So yeah.
Yeah, what Amy's not saying is they've worked so hard to be able to do integrate a lot of states have matching dollars too to go along with SNAP. And so right now, the bones of that, Amy's being a little modest, like most of the bones of that are sitting in the software pretty much waiting for FNS to get their act together because they've only approved like a few online people in the country to be able to process online payments because they're pretty stingy with that ability because they're afraid of fraud, essentially. But the platform allows you to mark only SNAP eligible products, so that would be the way the platform would do it. And the other thing is that's amazing is if that customer has a credit card on file and then SNAP on file, that there is going to be integration where you can charge them on the credit card for the credit card stuff and the SNAP for the SNAP stuff. That's going to require a little bit more hands-on because, but once you have like an administrator, like I'm lucky, Amy knows Kirsten, I have Kirsten to do this stuff, but to separate those things out. But also like we have granite bucks here, and we want to be able to integrate the fact that like, oh, if you use your SNAP dollars, you only have to use 50% of your SNAP dollars because we're going to match them with granite match. And so that's another part of the platform that can be integrated, which is really cool.
Yeah, anybody that wants to talk online SNAP, I could talk your ear off for days.
And if you put
Andre,
a few beers
you did
in there,
really
you could
good
get
job.
you could get a real opinion about it if you had some good beer.
Oh yeah, yes. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks so much for telling us about that. And Andre, yeah, well, you got us pumped about it. So thanks for sharing your experience. There might be more questions that come up later in the Q&A there, but I think I'll hand it over to Lauren. Lauren, would you want to tell us about Barn2Door?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to get a chance to do so. So thanks for having us for sure. Brie is also here. She's one of the farms that uses our platform. Brie, do you want to pop on and say hi? Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me now? There you go.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Bree. I'm a farmer in Connecticut, and I've used Barn2Door for the past couple of years, and I'm happy to share my experience.
Yeah. So we'll walk through just some information, some basic stuff kind of on what we do, how we help farms, and just kind of share Bree's experience too. She's done an incredible job growing the business over those last few years. So being able to kind of follow along on that journey, especially for any farmers out there that are just getting started, it can be a lot to look at bigger farms and be like, okay, well, they do 15 different delivery routes. I'm never going to get there, but it's just taking everything one step at a time, right? And having the right solution that will grow with your business as you continue to grow as well. Right, Brie? Cool. So I'm gonna share my screen. Can everybody see that okay? Good. All good. Okay. And I'm one of the sales managers too. I know we mentioned that earlier. So I've been here for about 3 years, talking to so many farms across the country over the last few years. So it's been an incredible experience. I feel very lucky to be able to do what I'm doing. So Barn2Door was founded in 2015. And so within that time, now we work with thousands of farms across the country. Our goal is not just to help you guys manage your business, but also teach you the tools and tactics that we've seen be really successful, following the data of the most successful farms we have, like Brie's farm, right, to really lean in and show you what works. So nobody ever feels like they're having to, recreate the wheel. We really do know what works for selling food online, and can kind of show you the ropes. I know there was a little bit of a mention of like, hey, risk management. Great way to do that by leaning into the knowledge and expertise of other people that have faced the exact same challenges that you have, right? And so a big piece of that is just convenience, right? And buyers expect it to be easy to get your products. If it's not easy, they're going to get it from the next easiest place. But what's amazing is they would rather buy locally. So if you take away any excuse that they have, if you make it easy for them to place an order, if you make it really easy for them to get it, then they're going to order from you instead of from Amazon or Walmart, what have you. And so part of that is just, how do farmers get in front of customers in a way that they're used to buying every day? Brie, do you want to talk a little bit about just how you've kind of overcome the challenges of like having to compete in the market?
Sure. So luckily we had our own sort of following before we started competing. And I think for us, the main thing was convenience. So I always tell people, if we can make getting food deliveries the norm, then we're kind of all working together. And so for us as a dairy farm, it was basically bringing back the milkman or the milkwoman, and just getting people back into that. COVID, I mean, we all know COVID helped. Everybody was, not wanting to go to the grocery store and wanting to stay home. Some of them were sick and couldn't go to the grocery store. So for us, it was just constantly staying with our customers and helping them have the convenience of food delivery.
Yeah, awesome. So what that really starts with, and especially for new farmers that are getting started, is building a brand. So that really comes to having consistency across all of the different channels. And so people expect a certain experience when they're interacting with you online. They expect your store to function a certain way. They expect your website, your Instagram, your Facebook to be a certain experience when they're shopping from you. And so part of what we do here at Barn2Door is we have a team of designers that are going to custom build a website for you, because people want to know where their food is coming from. They want to know what your practices are, right? We only work with sustainable farms in that effort to get better food on people's plates. But it's not enough anymore just to have a website, right? And that's why we're here having this conversation today. You can go and build a website yourself, but there is, again, that certain expectation they have. And what it really comes down to is having that shop button on every single channel that your customers are shopping. Because some people are going to find you on Facebook. I look everything up on Instagram. Other people are just going to Google you, right? And so being able to limit the barriers to purchase as much as possible by giving them that one-click experience wherever they're finding you. And email has been the most successful version of that we've seen, especially over the last few years working with our farmers. So working with farms to develop a strategy around building their brand and getting that brand presence and that brand awareness out into their community where they want to be selling their product, right, is a really important piece of that as well. And so Brie, you have beautiful branding. What kind of inspired that, and how did you put that together?
So I think that came over time for sure. It was, our logo has sort of grown with us, but having branding and having it consistent has been key. So We rebranded when we went into the grocery stores because that was obviously a really important thing. When people were coming to the farm and we were in farmers markets, it was really about that connection. But when your product is no longer there connected to you on the farm, when it's like your heart is floating out on its own somewhere, it has to look good. It has to be, it has to represent who you are. So we rebranded, and that was huge for us. The logo, people, it's catchy, it's bright, it's cute. And people have learned to kind of reach for that product. So that's been great. And then just keeping that going, to hit on what you were talking about. When we first went to Barn2Door, I had, I think, 6,000 people on our email list, and I never used it. I hated email. I didn't think it was important. I was big in Facebook, and I was big on Instagram, and just, those kinds of connections. And when we went to Barn2Door, it was like all of a sudden I got this huge staff. Like everybody at Barn2Door was on the same team, and they were there to help. And we started using email. And like you said, it's definitely surprising to me, because I didn't believe it at first. It's definitely the best thing to connect to the customers that are really yours. Because if you're on Facebook, it's a great way to, put a cute picture up and keep your customers connected, but it's not really, that's not yours. They can pick and choose whether they see it. Email is right to your customers, and that's been great for us. So we took our brand and we use MailChimp, and it's integrated to Barn2Door, and it's, it's got our logo right on it, and it looks like it's coming directly from Terra Firma. So I think, like you said, having that brand and keeping it consistent all the way through just helps increase the sales that you're going to see your customers give.
Yeah, totally. So part of that is convenience, right? You're giving them convenience by being where they're shopping, whether that's through their email or it's, finding you on their website. But the other level of that convenience is just making it not only super easy to order, but making it easy to get your products. And I think that's the overwhelming theme of this conversation today, especially in an environment where maybe your farmer's market is shutting down, something like that. The more that you have ownership of that customer relationship, the easier it is to pivot. And that really means having the right tools in place to allow you to adjust your business as you need to continue to be successful. So the video that's playing right now is what the customer's experience looks like. And it's just a quick video. It's on our website too, if you want to check that out at any point. But what that really means is that your customers expect a receipt right when they place their order, right? As soon as they click that order button, they're going to assume there's a receipt in their inbox. They're also going to want a reminder 24 hours before they are going to get your product. And so maybe a brand new farm, the only place you guys are selling your product is a farmer's market, right? So pre-orders for farmer's market is a great place to get started. Maybe stepping out of that, you add a drop location in another nearby city, something like that. And then after that, your next stage of growth, maybe that's then when you're ready to step into deliveries and you have that established customer base and that established brand presence. So being able to use these different tools as you continue to grow your business in a way that really works for you, but builds into the buyer's habits that they're already used to today, is ultimately how you're going to be successful. Part of that too is subscriptions. So subscriptions have been incredibly successful for our farmers, putting together farmers' choice bundles, especially as a smaller farm. It just is very time consuming to do a customer choice box, right? It takes way longer to pack that. And so we have found that customers will actually pick farmer choice boxes above and beyond custom choice boxes most of the time. And so it's going to save you a bunch of time. It's again adding more convenience in for your customers. And so building that into a subscription model as well builds predictability into your business, and again helps with that risk management, because if you know that you have 100 customers lined up for the next 3 months, 6 months, or a year, depending on what kind of farm you are and when you're producing, you know and have that peace of mind that not only is that income going to be there, but you have an avenue for your products as well. And that's ultimately what we want for our farms, is to be able to have that peace of mind and that predictability within your business. So Brie does a ton of deliveries, which has grown slowly over time, or maybe kind of quickly, but I would love to hear some of the lessons that you've learned just as you grew that part of your business.
So previous to COVID, we had a really busy farm stand, and we did grocery stores and farmers markets. And then COVID hit, and also just our growth at that point in a matter of time. We needed to focus more on farming and getting all of our products made, and not so much time on the, setting up the deliveries and the paperwork and all that stuff. We would get orders, they would come to my cell phone, they would go through email, they would go through somewhat of our website, we would have people just stopping in. So switching everything online was huge. The majority of our business is delivery at this point, home delivery, but we still do grocery stores, and we still do some other farm stands, so wholesale accounts. And right now we do everything through Barn2Door. So we have the home delivery set up, that's one pricing set. And then we have our grocery stores, which is set up as our wholesale accounts. And then we have, we call them private, but they're like the farm stands. And so each price break is set up through Barn2Door. So all of our ordering now can go right through there. We do home deliveries 6 days a week now. And ours are based on delivery zones. So for us being in Connecticut, we do it by zip code. So, and we do 3 or 4 towns a day, and then every day or that week would be your delivery. And so right now we go about 45 miles from the farm, and we do 6 different stores, and those again all go through Barn2Door. We do subscriptions and we do individual items. The difference between, I think, us and some of the other farms on Barn2Door is we also have 13 other vendors that basically umbrella under us. So when we started, it was just us, which is basically milks and yogurts and meats and eggs. And our customers would say, hey, could you get coffee? Well, sure. So then we got a local coffee dealer. Hey, can you get bread? We have an amazing bakery. Hey, you don't raise lamb. Could you get us lamb? So right now we have our own farm and then 13 other vendors. So honey, we have a bakery. We have a restaurant that does grab and goes. We have local coffee, jams, jellies, maple syrup, honey, I'm sure cheese. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. We have a local soda company. I know I'm forgetting people, but so basically what we did was we took like a farmer's market and made it all under one. So now as a customer, when they go online, they can get almost everything that they need for the week. And that was like, took us from here to here, because now customers, it's still just one delivery fee. It's still just coming from Terra Firma, but they can get a lot more. And so that's helped us, and it's also helped all the other vendors that we work with. So that's been great. And we do that. We have like a subscription box, a bundle box that they can get. We have our own milk subscription that we do, and then we do a meat subscription as well. And so all of those things have been huge for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Didn't happen overnight, that's for sure.
No, no. We opened the farm, I think we're on year 17 now. So no, not overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, part of that, it's important to create that convenience for your customers, but obviously that's incredibly time consuming for Brie to navigate all those orders just on a day-to-day basis. And so the more that we can create a system that is automated, that helps save you as much time as possible, and that's what that video is showing there as well, is what that order management looks like, right? And it's the tools that you need. So a pick list for all the orders that are going out on a specific day, whether those are going to be deliveries or pre-orders for the farmer's market. The pack list is actually going to break everything down by customer, by location, what everybody ordered. And then if you are to the level that you are doing a lot of deliveries and need help with that management, we also are integrated with Routific. And so it's just a click of a button to send that information to your phone or to the phone of your drivers to then have those most efficient routes. And I know that one's been huge for you, Brie.
Yes. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if I was on there. Yeah,
No,
so when
okay.
we used a different software, and then we switched to Routific, and not only did it save us time, but it saved us money, which like threw me off, because our drivers now they're out for less time because it's really specific, but we're saving in gas because it's getting them, from A to B in the most efficient way. And for me, right now, my day, like you said, it was crazy. I mean, there was like paperwork everywhere. We're like, my kids and I barely ever sat down. Like, it was nuts. But now it's literally like in the morning we click our pick and pack list. It's separated not only, like you said, by deliveries, but it's also by each individual vendor. And then it also separates from our pickups and our deliveries. So that's pretty easy now. It compiles all of our invoices, which then go to each driver, and then Routific gets us a route. And so it takes us maybe an hour in the morning to get all of our orders out the door and ready. And that's priceless. And the nice thing is orders come 24 hours a day. I don't have to stop to sell a dozen eggs. Somebody can buy a dozen eggs at 2:00 in the morning, and it doesn't interrupt our day. So that's like you said, it all has to just go together or it's never going to work. And that's what's made this so great. It's easy, not only for me, but for the customers. I know our customers think the ordering is so easy as well. Once you set up your account, they click in, their credit cards are saved, their delivery dates are saved, their address is saved. They go through every week and they pick their items and they're done.
Yeah, exactly. And so past that, especially as you're growing the business, right, tools that have to do with business management become more and more important, especially when you're talking about things like risk management, right? So QuickBooks, we're integrated with QuickBooks as well. So it's a click of a button to send all your financials over into your QuickBooks so that you can then manage it from there. So all your credits and debits as you need to manage your business, right? Manage your money. And then depending on the different state that you're in, we have different tax tools as well. And so there are some states, folks that I work with, that the taxes are insane and essentially just impossible to figure out, and they're changing on a day-to-day basis. And so we're partnered with one of the best in class sales tax tools that will automatically calculate those at checkout for your customers, which when it really comes down to it, there's so much liability for your farm when it comes to something like sales tax, just in terms of fees and audits, and it's a federal offense to not pay the right sales taxes, right? And so just having those tools and, again, the peace of mind built into the background so you don't have to worry about that stuff is a big part of what we do. Has QuickBooks been helpful for you, Brie?
Yeah, so we have everything goes automatically into our QuickBooks, and I know that's saved our bookkeeper and myself tons of time. You set it up once and you get all your categories in, and it's great. But not only does it save you time, one of the most important things I've learned over owning my own business for all these years is those are numbers you need to know. Like, you can keep going, and you can be, money can be coming in and money can be going out, but it's so nice to have it all set up so you know what you're doing, where you're making money, where you're losing money, where you're breaking even.
Yeah, data is so powerful. Information power.
Yes.
Sure. Especially if you want to scale and you want to scale quickly, you got to know what's going on with your business. So this video that's playing, Brie talked a little bit about MailChimp earlier today and some of the neat features that come along with that. Again, it's just one of the integrations that we have because there's people that are better at building things than we are in certain cases. And so we want to partner with those folks to bring the best tools to our farmers. Avalara is an example of that. QuickBooks is an example of that. But MailChimp has been an awesome asset to our farms. And so farmers that are just getting started, anywhere that you have an opportunity to collect emails, do that. Whether it's at the farmer's market, at the local church, at your gym, right, at your kid's school, wherever you can be collecting emails, it's going to be a huge benefit for your business long term, because you can start to use tools like this to get directly into the inbox of your customers with the information that they need. Not only is a great opportunity to help educate your customers on your products, on new products, on why you do what you do, right? That's why we're all here in the first place. But it does drive sales unequivocally. Any farmer that we work with, essentially, if they've had less than 100 emails, it's been a lot harder for them to see success. But if they work on building that email list, and there's online and offline strategies for that, and our team is happy to talk about that stuff all day. But ultimately, it does lead to success, right? You talked about that a little bit already, Brie, but anything to add?
Yeah, so I think the most eye-opening thing for us was, so we send out a weekly email just to all of our customers, something cute going on at the farm, a recipe of the week, a sale, a promo code, something like that. But our Barn2Door account manager helped us set up the idea of weekly reminders. So we send out an automatic email. It says, you know, we're coming your way, or don't forget the milk, or something cute every week. And it goes out the night before their delivery day at 7 p.m. So we tried all different times. And with MailChimp, you can see when people are opening your emails and how much sales revenue and all that kinds of thing. And even our best customers who order every single week, they order after that email comes out. So for us, it was so eye-opening to see. And I know even me personally, you have to be reminded to do things. So, but from the back end of it, it's one click once a week. So it takes me a total of 5 minutes, and I can email 6,000 people, and it comes out 5 days a week at the same time to each different group, and it just goes. And for us, that was amazing to see, because it was, you know, like you said, it increased our sales, but it also connected us to the customer, and it also reminded the customer to order every week. So I think that integration with MailChimp, that's something that we probably use more than, I would say, any of the other ones.
Yeah. Is it pretty motivating when you send that email out and you can see just like the thousands of dollars stacking up from clicking that button?
It is, because MailChimp sends you these cute little, like, there's like notifications and like little confettis that go off, and all of a sudden you're like, woo! It is like, you know, you need that little boost every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like, your email generated $3,000 last night, and you're like, okay, I'll send it again tonight.
Exactly. So you're right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're here for, is to see that success. And it's super measurable as well. Like we said earlier, data is power, right? And so we really want to know that the tactics that we're teaching our farms through, we didn't really talk that much about this, but we have an entire support team in the background, a farm onboarding manager to help get your store set up, and then a farm account manager as well for go-to-market coaching, strategizing tactics, that kind of thing, that's with you for as long as you're with us. And they're all based in different territories. So they're working with other farmers in your area specifically as well, which is really nice. But it's information like this that we want to bring back to our farms, right? Hey, tactics that successful farms are using, bundle boxes, right? Make it simple for your customers, but also making sure that you're aligning that to household sizes. Again, bringing that convenience to the customer. So maybe it's somebody that lives by themselves. Once a month, they need a 5-pound box. Maybe it's a 2-person household and they need a 10-pound box. Maybe it's a family and they're going to need a 15-pound box, right? Or a small share and a large share, or if you're doing veggies, what have you. But subscriptions were huge. And that's exactly the information that you're seeing in that graph there, is them getting started with us and starting to introduce these tactics, and just the consistency that it brought to their business and month-over-month sales. Because before that, it had really been up and down. They were doing a lot of bulk sales, but to be able to build in that reoccurring revenue allowed them not only to take that money and reinvest it back into the farm to continue to grow the business, but just letting them know that, like, hey, we're going to have this income month over month, and we don't really have to worry about it because we know that it's already there and guaranteed as well. So I would love to hear just a little bit, Brie, from you of just like success story of Terra Firma Farm, because you guys have done awesome. Just the importance of creating that brand awareness, or how delivery has helped you grow and scale the business.
I think I hit on most of this as we were going along, but yeah, like I said, so switching over to home delivery really increased how we were able to get out to the community. We did open the farm in 2004, so we've had so many years of connecting with people. And one of our other things is education. So we do farm camps. So that's been huge, and that's gotten people. That was the mission of the farm. So really from the beginning, the idea was to reconnect our community to agriculture. So the farm was always open to the public. People could come and farm with us. The kids during summer camp, they milk the cows, they collect eggs. So it was a way for people to really see how their food was being grown and connect to a small local farm. And that's only helped us, grow and grow as we've gone along, because we've been able to be, I always say we're very real. Like, people see me in the pickup line picking my kids up. They see me at the grocery store. They see us buying ice cream at the local ice cream place. And I think we it's a way of connecting with your customers in real life, makes them trust where they're buying their food and, you know, want to be a part of it. So that's kind of what Terra Firma always has been. Connecting with Barn2Door, I can't take all of the credit for the growth and success that we've had. I always say this whenever given the opportunity. When I think as farmers, we're very individual people and we're very busy and there's never enough time in the day. So when we switched to Barn2Door, it was, for me, it was like hiring a giant staff. Like we got somebody to help us with marketing. We got somebody to do our website. We got somebody to do our onboarding for our store. There's always somebody there to help me if I have a question. You know, the staff is unbelievable. Whether you're a starting out farmer or whether you've been farming for years, the expertise that you get, and like you said, all of the account managers are also helping other farmers. And so not only are you getting your own problem solved, but they have seen maybe something that worked for somebody else or something that didn't work for somebody else. And the other nice thing about Barn2Door is we connect, or I connect with other farmers. So we do the academy, which is a bunch of us learning and talking about how we do social media. And there's an academy on MailChimp, and that's all of us talking about how we use MailChimp. And then there's the community where we just ask questions and we answer other farmers' questions. And I think all of a sudden, you know, me being in Connecticut and being an individual farmer, all of a sudden you have this giant community of people who's in the same boat. And that to me is priceless. That's how you succeed. When you can take your idea and you can bounce it off of 100 other people all having the same idea and doing the same thing, that has helped, I think, beyond words. So that's been great. And, you know, you can have the platform and you can have the service and you can have the great website and you can do the delivery, but you still have to have the brand and you still have to make a great product and you still have to be passionate about what you do. And I think going online and using a platform like Barn2Door, it's given me the time to do that. I get to still make sure that, you know, the cows are cared for and I get to still farm, which is what I want to do. And I also get to, you know, eat dinner with my kids a couple more times a week. So the more you make it easy to run that business side, which as a farmer isn't really the sexy, fun thing we like to do. I think if that's easy and it's done well, then your product is going to be better because most of us are passionate about growing food. That's what we like to do. We don't like to sit on computers and worry about, you know, sales and delivery routes. So if that's easy, then we get to put our time back into our passion, which is raising good food.
That makes me so happy, Brie. The Connect program is pretty new. We just started doing it. So we have essentially a team of farmers that work with us, and we call them our Farm Advisory Network. And so Brie is one of the folks on that, but they are available on a weekly basis for folks that are signed up with us or folks that aren't, to just hop on a Zoom call and ask questions. And yeah, I think that is huge. I also had another dairy farmer join us today, Brie, and I was like, you have to go talk to Brie. So she'll probably pop on to say hi to you at some point. Okay, so anything else you want to add? You kind of covered most everything, but just about yourself?
I think that's everything. There's not much about me that I didn't say.
Okay, no, that's great. How about like where folks can find you if they want to connect with you?
So for the Connect program for other farmers, we send everybody through Barn2Door because that's a great way to schedule connecting. And I know, like you said, Lauren, you can meet with me in the dairy sense, or there's vegetable farmers, all that kind of stuff. So that you can go through Barn2Door. But Terra Firma Farm is online, so terrafirmafarm.org, and we're on Instagram and Facebook. Terra Firma Farm CT is Instagram, and Terra Firma Farm is on Facebook.
Yeah, or just follow to learn what she's up to. There's that too.
There's really cute pictures of cows.
There are. I actually check that out quite often. So Barn2Door is really established for farmers that want to be farm businesses, right? There's a certain point of return on investment that it makes sense for you to start working with us. But we want to be able to support folks that are just getting started or just learning as well. So we actually introduced this year as well the student program, which is essentially just like a heavily discounted option for beginning farmers or folks that are in a program like this that are just kind of getting their boots on the ground and starting to sell locally and starting to put some of these tools and tactics into place. And with that, it's awesome. There's an entire Learn Center in the background with tips and tactics and videos of everything that you could need to start implementing some of the things that we talked about today, whether it's bundles, subscriptions, how to grow your email list, right? Just having those free resources there in the background. As you are part of that student program, but we also have blogs and ebooks and a podcast, and literally, like, if you would rather read, watch, or listen, we kind of have all the different assets on all the different topics. So if you're curious to learn a little bit more about some of the stuff that we talked about today, or if you're just getting started as a farmer, that student program is a great option too, just to kind of get started with it. So just a quick recap on what we've talked about today. So convenience is huge. You want to make it easy for your customers not only to order 7 days a week, all hours of the day, right? But you also want to make it really easy for them to get it, because it takes away any excuse they have but to order from you. Brand awareness is huge. The more that you can get out into your community, not just online, but also in person, the more successful you're ultimately going to be, because people are looking for that connection. They're just looking for it in a lot of different ways. And then have the right tools to scale your business. You may not think you need something like this now, it's too early, but the sooner you can put this into place, not only are you building those buyer habits of your customers, but the easier it's going to be to grow your business. It's like, as one person, especially those farmers that are managing everything themselves, you don't scale. You only have a certain amount of time in your day, and that's exactly what tools like this are for, so that you can do more with less, right? And then just fuel farm sales, right? Using a lot of these strategies, communicating with your customers on a regular basis, building that loyal buyer base is ultimately how you're gonna get to where you want to be in your farm business as well. And I think that's all.
Oh, nice. Great. Well, we do have some time for some questions, and I see one in the chat for you, Lauren. Does Barn2Door have centralized inventory so that retail and wholesale orders all pull from the same inventory?
It is something that we're actively working on right now. So right now, those two different inventories are separate. You don't have to have your exact inventory in the system. Most of our farmers are gonna probably put like 3/4 of what they have, or, 2/3, just to make sure you're giving your customers something to order off of, but you're never overselling yourself. And what's neat is you have a dashboard in the background that'll show you when inventory items are running low, and it's just a couple clicks of a button. You can do it from your phone to go in and update that stuff. So we're working on that capability called binning, where all that will pull from the same place. Right now it's separate.
Can I just hit on that? I think, so for us in the beginning, we didn't use much of the inventory and the reporting on Barn2Door, but we've actually noticed over time, we've kind of taught ourselves about the importance of it. I know, like it was talked about in the beginning, if you oversell a product, that's really bad. And so we've actually, I love the reporting factor, and Barn2Door, since we started, has increased the reports and stuff. And we use them all the time. So it's a great, not only is it, I mean, obviously you need to know what you have for inventory, but as a sales, trend to watch, it's great to see what's selling and what's sitting in the freezer, and what you should put in a bundle, and what, triggers your customers to buy, and what sells out every single week. And so the reporting and the inventory tracking on Barn2Door is huge. You can see it by day, you can see it by week, you can see it by month, you can see it over the year, you can see it by category. And I think that if you take the time, and the nice thing is I look at it while I'm milking, because it's on my phone. So you can look at it, in downtime, in between cows, and you can see like, wow, maybe we should do a bundle with skirt steaks this week because we have a ton of them, but something else is selling. So looking at the inventory in that regards is really important too. And it's really nice on Barn2Door to be able to see all the breakdown and categories that you can look at your products.
Well said. I don't know if anybody else has any questions you'd like to ask any of our presenters. it was great to hear from the farmers personally. Bree and Andre, thanks so much for sharing, and really nice to see how these platforms help you all do what you're passionate about, be able to focus more on your quality milk or vegetables, do what you love, get those high quality products to your customers. And yeah, I appreciate you both sharing your perspectives on that. I don't see any other questions in the chat. I don't know if Amy, if you're still with us. I just had a quick question for you. So you founded Local Food Marketplace in 2009 or so, is that right? Something like that?
Yeah.
That's amazing. What motivated you to start that?
Oh man, that's a big question. So it was a personal passion, just wanting to buy local food. And I have a tech background in a different industry, and saw how technology enabled these small businesses to sort of be competitive in a global marketplace, but yet kind of keep their businesses small and local. And so, yeah, the company was really just kind of a mashup of those two passions, and really wanting to make it easier to buy local food. If back 15 years ago or what have you, to buy all the things that you wanted to buy locally could be kind of complicated. Like you'd have to go to farm stands and call people and, show up in all sorts of different places. But it's a lot easier now. And that was a big motivation, was to make it easier for consumers, and knowing that it was easier for consumers, knew that also it would impact farmers. We were hearing here that some farmers were not able to sell at the farmers market, either they couldn't get space, or in other cases, they just didn't have the time to sort of predict what they were going to sell. And so that was another motivation, was just making it, a profession that a person could be a farmer, and that could be their job, instead of having to have an off-farm job and farm. Is also been a big motivation for us, is that, it needs to be something that pays your bills, and and so how do we do that and sort of maintain some of these goals around, connecting with our community. And so, yeah, so that was kind of how it started. And we ran a hub like Three River here for a chunk of time. It was never the idea of doing that forever, but we did. And ran it for a couple of years, and then that was pretty short-lived. We handed that over to another organization pretty early on, and then was lucky enough to meet folks like Andre at conferences. And Andre, how did we even meet? I remember our first conversation, you were making a turducken.
Yeah, we met because we were researching for Three River. We were trying to research, okay, we knew that this had to be software driven, and we were researching other food hubs and stuff. Okay. And I remember that I was talking to Simon, and I was like, Simon is the developer of Small Farm Central. Oh, cool. Who runs a product called Harvey, which could be really applicable to especially people just getting started out. It's the other two platforms that we've talked about today can be kind of scaled a little larger probably than Harvey, and can also be more affordable at scale than Harvey. Like Harvey is affordable at a smaller scale because all the fees are baked in. But anyway, to get past that, Simon was like, your project is way too big for me. Check out this site. And it was powered by LFM. And I was like, oh my, this is everything that I want to be able to do in the future, but we don't need half of this stuff. It's going to cost a fortune. And called Amy, and Amy's like, we only give you what you need. You don't have to buy the whole thing. You can just buy what you need. And if you want more later, we'll add it on. And the thing that's been funny is like having that kind of relationship, and I'm sure listening to Brie and Lauren, it's the same way, is that if you have a relationship with these companies that they're local, smaller software companies too, and you can call them. And I mean, I remember when I was just like, I need a way to link all these food hubs together. Amy, we can't keep posting on 5 different food hubs, because right around there we have a couple of different like food hubs, but they're just far enough away that we don't compete with each other, but we kind of want the product from the other one, you know? How do we make a web? Like, you know, and so, you know, and to have their developers like, you know, respond to that. And I'm sure, you know, subscription modules are not built in a day. Like, you know, it started out one way, and then you're like, hey, you know, this subscription module is awesome, but you know, it'd be great if I could do these 3 other things with my subscription module. Oh, and can I have a stock box that they want? But if they want to replace something, can they just click on it and put something else in? And so Lauren's so right that like, I offer infinite choice, but like 90% of my boxes just go out the way they're made. But it's amazing that they could click a button and change it if they wanted to. And they really, really want that feature. If they, you know, they really, really do. And so, or, you know, most of the time they don't even subtract, they just add stuff. They just add to the pile, which is a great platform for the business. And then another thing that like, you know, just talking to developers, and I'm sure this is available through Barn2Door, is that like, you know, like, could you see it like Lauren was saying, that like everybody wants to shop like Amazon. So like my customers click on something and immediately it pops up as like customers that bought that also bought this. And they're like, and there's like a report, you know, like Brie was saying, there's a report for that. Like you go there and you're like, this upselling is working. What else should we put into the upsell? Why aren't we upselling before? And it gets you thinking more about your business than just like the farm side. And both of the, you know, I can't stress enough that like, yes, I showed some of the non-sexy part. I didn't even get into all the reporting. But like, that's how, you know, Amy was really powerful in showing us like, you're going to need this report. You're going to need to look at this, you know? And so it's been a great, like, you know, friendship and development of over the years of just having this big collaboration going on. It's been awesome to know, to have somebody that's like, oh, I'm working with this other food hub and they said they did it this way. And you're like, why didn't I do it that way? It's great to have the connections.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's an inspiring story, Amy, and having benefited as a consumer from Three River and knowing many of my producer friends who have benefited from it, it's working. You're helping the small farm, and Laura, and keep up the good work with, you know, helping farmers farm and dealing with the stuff that we don't tend to want to have to deal with. I'm just launching this quick poll for folks, but I really just want to thank you all so much for taking time. I know you're all very busy, and I appreciate it. And we'll get this on the YouTube for the thousands of viewers to learn about your great platforms, and hopefully you'll be getting some calls, and you can keep achieving your mission of helping small farmers connect with people who want good food.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ben.
All right, take care. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Great to meet you all. Great to meet you, Amy.
Thanks,
Lauren.
Ben. Yeah, it's really good. Thanks, Andre. Nice
Yeah,
to meet
take care,
everybody
everybody.
else here.
See you, Andre. Keep up the good work.